How you feeling, man? You feeling good?
I'm good, yeah. I feel great. I'm nervous. Is that okay?
Can y'all clap for him again and not make him nervous again? They love you, man. They love you, man. You want me to stay up here or want me to go down?
We can hang out.
We can hang out, man. But you're a lot taller than me, so I don't know if I want to stand next to you so I can remind everybody how much shorter I am than you. So I'm going to let you talk. But if you want me to jump up and do the stanky leg or dance or some jumping jacks, some push-ups, I'll do it.
If I mess up, let's just switch into that.
Let's just do it, man. I'm down for the cause. I mean that. Love you, brother. Go ahead. Just share your story.
Hey guys, how you doing? So luckily I have a few friends in the crowd, so I'm going to pretend like I'm just telling an old story to, people I've told many stories to, and they may have heard this one, maybe not. I might embarrass myself a little bit, but I'm going to be as honest as I can and tell you a little bit of like a tale of how I got to this point, which hopefully is a point in a long journey ahead. First of all, these lights are bright as hell. But I'll try to ignore them in the 8 minutes and 50 seconds I have. So about 10 or so years ago, I was around 17 or 18, and I was very unsure as what was happening next. I was really good at drawing, but I was not exactly excited about school, to be honest. I had been introduced to an art form known as graffiti. I'm sure you guys are all familiar with this in one way or another. And I hope you don't hate me, but I was participating in this art form. And I want you to know that my intentions were good. I wanted to express myself in a creative way. I wanted to make something beautiful. And the most direct form of doing that was to make art on walls. And in order to make beautiful things on walls and to learn how to do that, I had to start off by making probably not so beautiful things on walls. And hopefully that experience, was going to expedite my process towards making beautiful things. And I really was looking forward to making beautiful things. But I wasn't very good, to be honest. I was really good at drawing, but when I was introduced to graffiti, it was like starting over. It was like suddenly there was this art form that I didn't know about that I was completely new to, and I was completely overwhelmed by it. And I was also just addicted. Like, as soon as I put something up and someone had seen it, it was like I existed in the world where I went from being just like some random kid to someone saying, "Oh, I saw that really stupid thing that you put up," and that made me think, well, what if it was great, What if it were like, "Oh, I saw something amazing that you put up," and I was just excited by it. By the way, please ask questions halfway through so that way we can make this more interactive. I was around 17 or 18, and my friend came up to me. And we had been doing graffiti together, and he said, "I want to start a graffiti crew." And I was like, "Oh, that sounds cool. I want to be in a graffiti crew." Wow. And it was called IDC. You might think I don't care, but what if I do care? What if it was called I decorate cities, I design cities, I destroy cities, hopefully not anymore, and what about individuals defining creativity, individuals demonstrating creativity? The list goes on. If you come up with something good, please let me know. So, we were just kids, and we were like, let's do something with this drawing talent that everyone says we have. Like, let's make something of it. And we committed, like, in many long nights and, like, staying up late just drawing, talking about what are we going to do? Why are we making these pictures? Let's make a life of this. Like, could we build a career and a movement, maybe, or a sustainable just lifestyle off of the creative ideas that we had? It seemed ridiculous, but we were still going with it, and we were doing graffiti like late at night. We would go out and we would climb on top of train tracks and under barbed wire and under literally one night climbed over a fence on top of a train track, underneath like electrical power lines, over barbed wire, onto a rooftop, and we're trying to do our little thing, and then all of a sudden there's like an alarm going off, and you got to run away. Like, this is the kind of stupid things we were doing. And I hope you don't think I'm a terrible person. Like, at the same time, I was a Boy Scout. I got my Eagle Scout. I did a community service program for an entire year as a volunteer, not because I had to. And I taught literacy to second graders. I improved all of their reading and writing scores. Did 1,700 hours of voluntary community service for that program. Anyway, and one day we went out and we were doing this graffiti on top of a rooftop of a produce market in our neighborhood, and we had morals about our graffiti. We weren't going to do it on the front of anyone's business. We weren't going to do it on anyone's personal property. We were sticking to the alleyways and to the rooftops. So, we have boundaries. And we got away. We did our thing. We left, and we went home, went to sleep. We had our photos, and we shared it with our friends. And a week later, I got a call from my mom, and it was not good news. It was the police had come to my house, had told my mother that if I did not turn myself in, there would be a warrant out for my arrest, and they had caught me on camera for doing some graffiti. This is a moment where I was like, oh shit, I really messed up. I should probably fix this. So I turned myself in. I just realized I have 3 minutes left. I've been talking a lot about 2% of what I was going to tell you. I had to turn myself in. I went to jail for a night. It was not fun. I don't suggest it. Stay out of there. And I had to go to court. I had to tell them that I was a good person and plead to them that they weren't going to give me a huge fine. And I convinced them to let me clean it off. So I went to the produce market. I'm cleaning off this graffiti. It's very embarrassing. Friends are walking by laughing at me. Produce market employees are laughing at me. It was terrible. And I'm taking a break, and I'm like, man, this is one hell of a day. And the owner of the produce market says, this only took you 15 minutes. Like, what if you had some more time? Like, what if you could have done something nice for us? And I was like, yeah, well, I would love to. And they had this delivery truck that would constantly get tagged by the graffiti artists, maybe some of them that I knew, and they said, why don't you do something nice for our graffiti our produce truck? And I said, yeah, sure, why not? And next thing you know, I got my first commission for $200 painting a produce truck. So that was about 10 years ago, and since then. That took a few months to paint, and then next thing you know, neighbors in the area were like, "Oh, that's so cool! Like, who did that?" And they hired me to paint like their kid's bedroom or something like that. And long story short, I left from that experience and say, this is a much better path. This is a way that I can actually express myself and create things that people will like, and it really just was a matter of asking for permission first, and hopefully people would say yes. So I left that day with a good lesson that I should ask for permission, and from that I've probably painted hundreds of murals, and companies like Google have let me onto their property to paint murals for them, and this is just, I hope, is the beginning of a long journey for me. But a lot has happened since then. I've met so many people and gone to so many places to create what I like to create. Usually I would show you pictures, but I actually have a book full of murals in there if you want. If you want to pass it around, you can if you'd like, as long as I get it back at the end of the night. But yeah, any questions? That's the I could tell you stories all day about silly things I've had to do just to put a piece of artwork on a wall. But
I have a question.
Yes, please.
Are you Banksy?
No, I wish. I thought about pretending like I was a long time ago, but